Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everybody is fine and healthy, staying in home and you're keeping yourself safe. So do not just go out and do. As because of this pandemic situations, I'm creating this video that will help you to clearly understand the store procedure. And I'm going to start it from the scratch so that you can start doing from the scratch and you'll be implementing it in a new project, creating a small new project, and then later on, once we have a very good clear understanding of how to implement the start procedure in C Sharp, we'll be also implementing the same thing in the real project that will be do in a different format. So the major objective of my today's session is it's like utilizing uh, stored procedure in C Sharp Windows Form. So this is what I want you to do today. This is what I'm going to teach you today. So utilizing stored procedure in Windows Form setup, and I'm going to start it from a scratch. I'm going to do it from a scratch, everyone. So you may be starting with starting a small new project, and then you can start on with a. Please do not pause your original project. So we'll be starting a new project. We'll try to implement it. We'll try to understand the logic, and then once you are very confident about this, then later on, once you have a very good clear understanding of the classes and the objects, then we'll be using that in the main program. So let's get started, everyone. So first of all, there's a topic suggest you that we'll be working with the store procedure, and a store procedure will be created in the way that I implement polymorphism technique, and I'll be using the polymorphism technique to create the store procedure and Windows form, and I'll be calling it in a Windows form and creating all those correct operations. So I'll be starting with a SQL Server, creating a small another database, test database that will and will create some tables, procedure, and we'll implement a project from the scratch, and we'll see how you can implement that in a new project. Okay, so let's get started now. So let me go to the database. You already have a database installed, I guess. So let us connect to the database. And now let us create a new database. So let me create a new database. And this time, I'm going to create any database called, let's say, section 8 test data, section 8 test DB, section 8 test DB, for example, or let's say this is simply test database. Okay, test database. Let me relate it to test database. Let me make it test DB. Test DB. Okay. So I have to remember the name. So let me see wherever I have created this test DB. Right click on it. And I'm going to, as I told you earlier, today I'll be teaching you two things here today. I'll be creating a user table and I'll be creating a form table. I'll be creating a form, a login form, through which I'll be able to log into the system, and another form through which you can create users. So let's see how we can do that. So let me create a procedure. sp underscore, okay, before procedure, let me create a table. Create table, user table, with the fields like user ID, integer, identity 1, and this is the primary key, username varchar, password varchar, and role is empty. Okay, role is also varchar 100. Cool. We created a user table. We have created user table. Now I want to create a procedure in a way that store procedure will perform all the work. For example, insert, update, delete, and everything. See how it works, everyone. So let me create a procedure. sp underscore manage users. You need to remember the name, and this is what we have done in the previous session. So at the rate user ID, integer, at the rate username, varchar, at the rate password, varchar, at the rate role, varchar, at the rate more, integer. So I want to iterate to whatever I want to do, whether I want to make insert, update, delete operation. This will depend upon the value of integer. I'll check if at the rate more equals to 1, so I want to make insert operation. So I just want to make insert into user table values, and user table are something like username, password, and role, and the values are coming out as a parameter at the rate username, password, and role. Okay. Similarly, if at the rate more equals to true, then I want to perform update operation. So update user table, set username equals to at the rate username, password equals to at the rate password, and role equals to at the rate role, where user ID has to be at the rate user ID. So you have to pass this value where condition user ID equals to the user ID, because if you do not pass this, your program, your stored procedure may not identify which ID is to be updated, and this will be updating all those ID. So in order to make sure that a particular ID is to be updated, you need to pass this clause, where clause, so that you need to pass this ID, and the ID that you have passed will only be updated. Okay, so you have to be very careful on this, otherwise everything will get updated. Okay, now let's go again and just make it a delete operation at the rate mode equals to 3, and this is a very dangerous query, very dangerous query. You have to be very careful on writing this delete query, so you have to think double. So delete user table, set you sorry where user ID equals to the rate user ID. Similarly here as well, if you do not specify where clause over here, then this is going to delete everything from the user table. Okay, but if I specify where user ID equals to the rate user ID, so this is going to delete the user which I specify in my program. So let me execute my stored procedure, and if it tells that if it is successfully executed, that means my stored procedure has been successfully executed. So you can check here. So you can check by going to programmability, and you can check the stored procedure must be created somewhere. So stored procedure is created, and table is also created somewhere. Perfect. Okay, so let's get started, everyone. Everything is done. My database is created, my table is created, my stored procedure is created. Now what I want to do is to link this everything to my GUI, graphical user interface, and I'm going to use Visual Studio 2012 and Windows Phone. So let me get started now. Let me create Visual Studio, and let me start with test project. I'm going to name it as a test project. So let me name it as test project. And make sure whenever you create a project, one of the mistakes that student does is they put a space something like this, and this is absolutely wrong. Maybe that the program will run, but later you are going to suffer for this types of name. So the name has to be declared in the same way as you define the variable. So there should not be space between the project and there should not be space in between the project name. And I'm going to store somewhere. Okay, so let me create this one. Cancel this one, and first of all let me make my forms ready, everyone. So let me go to property, let me change it login system, or let's say login system, whatever I want. And I want this start position to the center of the screen, so let me make it center of the screen, and let me make the font size to be of 12. Perfect. And first of all I want this to be a login form, so let me make it very simple and very fast. So let me go to container, or let me take a group box. Let me make it group box here, and let me just pass the informations like and let me now just let me say instead of this group box one, I'm going to make it as something like please provide username and password. Very perfect. So let me make it somewhat bigger so that this becomes more readable, everyone. Okay, this is great. Okay, so I'm done. let me take a panel, let me take a label, two labels I would need over here. So let me take a first label for a username. Let me copy this and let me paste it out here. So this is for a username. Let us say this is a username, and let me take another. This is for a password. Done. Let me take a text box. Let me take a text box for username. I have done some mistake here, everyone, which I'll teach you what type of mistake I have done, and I'll also teach you how to control that mistake. So let's see now. Let's make it. You can make it more beautiful form. I'm just showing you this how you can implement the logic and nothing else. You can design much better form than mine. So let me paste it for one more time. Let me name this as login. Okay, perfect. This is login and this is for exit. Exit. Fine. So now the next thing that I would like to do is here to name all the controls. So let me do it fast. So let's say this is txt username. This is txt password. This is btn login. And this is btn exit. btn exit. Perfect. We did it. Now I would need to have one form over here. So let me right click, add this form, and I'm going to make it user form. Let me make it user form. Start position again as usual on the center of the screen. This is my favorite position. And I want the font of size 12, my favorite size. Okay, so I think this much is enough. Let me make it somewhat bigger. Let me just take a panel or group box. Let me go to container, later group box. This is enough. I need to have some label control. Username. This is for username. Password. Confirm password. And the last one for the role. Okay. We can make it better design. So let me just change the text property of this all. Username. This is username. And this is now password. This is now again confirm password. And this is now role. Perfect. Let me change the text property of the screen box. Please provide all the fields. Perfect. Let me take text boxes. So where is my text box? Okay, here it is. Control C and Control B out here. Control B out here. And for role, I'm going to take combo box. I'm going to take a combo box for role. Done. Let me take some buttons out here. I need 4 buttons, everyone. Let me name this as create, update, delete, and this one is close. Perfect. And I would like to display this somewhere, so let me just drag and drop a panel out here. Let me drag and drop a panel. let me drag and drop a data grid view to show all my data. So this must be somewhere inside the data. Let me drag and drop a data grid view out here. Token parent container. Done, everyone, done. So design is ready. So let me just change the properties. So this is now txt username. This is txt password. txt confirm password. This is CMD role. And one thing, okay, first of all, let me design btn create, btn update, btn delete, and btn close. This is DGV users list. Okay, done. So now let me change the property of this password and confirm password. This has I want to change the use system password char to true. So this is not visible to normal user, and then let me have this one as a user and admin. Let me click OK, and then I want to have the drop down format for this as, let me say, a drop down. Where is a drop down style to drop down list, so the user may not be able to append any value over here. This one I want to change some property. I want to have this as auto size columns mode to fill, so my all row is occupied. And what I can do over here is alternating rows default cell list. I want to put some color out here, so let me choose some color. Okay, this one is okay. Okay, and then selection mode, I want to have a full row select. So selection mode, selection mode, selection mode. Okay, I want this to be full row select. Okay, everything done, everyone. So all things done. Let me run and check what happens. Okay, so I have to provide username and password. Still this is visible here. And if I click on login, this will be open first. So let me see how we can do that. Now let me see how we can do that first. So let me go to form 1 first, and let me make this use system password char to true. So this must not be visible to everyone. So this is here, by default it's false. Let me make it true. Let me run it again and see what happens. Nothing happens right now. Okay, so what I want to do is, since I have no user been created, so what I will do, if I click on this login button, so I should be redirected to this user form. Let me do that. So I have to have user form frm equals to user form. And also there are different ways that you can do. Either you can use the show or show dialog. With that before is a show dialog. So show dialog will be opening the form with the dialog, so that you cannot open the multiple instances of the same form, whereas show can open the multiple instances of the same form, which we do not like. Let's run and check. Login, and here this form is open. Excellent, but still this is visible. So once this is open, let me make it hide. Just a perfect. We're done with the forms and the designs. If I click on login, this form is open. Perfect. And if I provide some value out here, and if I choose some user, the users to be created, this will be populated over here. Now let's see the logic, everyone. So now, first of all, before I start coding for the login, I want to have some user first. So let me go and create some user. So for that, I'll be creating on the create button, and then I will have to create some namespace using system.data, and I need a using system.data.sql client. I would need two namespaces as a part of the ADO.NET. And here I am going to create a function first, everyone. So instead of doing this like this, what I will do, I'll just create a function, and then this function will do my all work. For example, public void public bool, let's say anything else. For example, what you can say, okay, manage users. Let's say, for examples, this is integer user ID, string username, string password, string role, and integer mode. So these are the parameters I would need. And here I can check now, everyone. So actually, this is not returning any value, so I'm getting error. So this will be solved. So now let me see how we can do here. So let me write if mode equals to 1, then I want to perform insert operation. SQL command equals to new SQL command, and here I want to work with the stored procedure. So before I work with the stored procedure, everyone, I need to make sure that I have a connections available. I cannot do it directly like this. So before I make sure that I have to make a connection, what I can do is I have to make a connection here. So let me go to Server Explorer. Let me go to text connection, add connection. Let me choose a server name which is local by default for me right now. So let's say local, and then let me select a database which is with TestDB. Okay, let me select. So I think that's a TestDB, test connection. So it's this. Was it? Let me check what was my database name. It's a test and DB. Sorry, I'm mistaken. So it should be test and DB. Okay, that's it. Small DB test connection. It's okay. And let me see whether this is connection is there or not. So let me just see. So let me see table. It's a user table. Perfect. Procedure is also there. Fine. So connection is done. Now the first thing that I need to do is I need to make a SQL connections. I need to make a connection to my database. So that I can do by using SQL connection con equals to new SQL connection, and I can use go to the Server Explorer, right click on the database, go to property and copy and paste my connection string out here. Okay, this is 10. Perfect. And once I establish the connection, now I can start writing my code here. I can say if mode equals to 1, make sure you have a double equals to 1 because double here in C# double equals to means it's comparative. Then I want to make an insert operation here. I just want to make an insert operation here. Let me see something more out here. So if mode equals to 2, then I want to make a update operation here. So I just want to have update operation here. And similarly, else if mode equals to 3, then I want to have delete operation here. Okay. So let's see the first one. So I'll have to write a SQL. Yeah, so I need to make a SQL connection before I start this here. So instead of this one, so let me make a SQL connection. So already I have made a connection, so no need to do that. So let me just do SQL command. Okay, cmd equals to new SQL command. Sorry, it's new SQL. New SQL command, and here you need to pass the stored procedure name and the name of the connection that you want to work on with. So name of the stored procedure, you can look here. This must be sp underscore manage user. So this has to match 100%. This has to match sp underscore manage users. Perfect. Done. Now we have to specify what is the command type. The command type is command type dot stored procedure. So this is very mandatory, everyone. So it's very mandatory to specify what types of command type are you using. So since this is a stored procedure, I must have to specify the command type is a command type that is stored procedure. Okay, now once this is done, now I can, okay, so this is for this one. If it is mode 2, then what I can do is now I can just tell uh, okay, SQL command equals to new SQL command, and then this has to be, I think I'm doing some mistake here everyone, so let me correct it first. It's not be like this. Let me make okay, this is it. So let me do one thing. I just made a mistake here, everyone. So let me delete this all code. I just made a mistake here. So let me just just let me write SQL command same equal to new SQL command, and then this has to be SQL command, and this has to be something like sp underscore manage uses, and that's okay. And let me say this is a con, because the mode has to come up, mode has to be provided by some end users, not here. So con, okay. And now I can now say cmd.command type equals to command type dot store procedure. And now I can pass the parameters, everyone. So this is the one we did last time, add with value, and then this has to match with whatever is defined in your stored procedure. So whatever is defined in your stored procedure out here, you need to pass exactly the same, otherwise you'll be getting error. Here you need to specify the same parameter. So this is at the rate user ID. User ID. So this is user ID. So this is coming from where? This is coming from this variable called user ID. So I'm passing it out here. And this will be coming from somewhere else. User ID. Okay. cmd.parameters.add with value, and this is at the rate username. Username. And this is now username. At the rate password. This is password. This is at the rate role. Role. So this is coming from this parameter, and this parameter must match here because I'm working on with the function. And here right now more at the rate mode, everyone, at the rate mode, and mode is again a mode variable here. Okay, so we provided all the value. Now I have to open the connection, and if result equals to cmd.execute non-query connection.close, I can check if result equals to is greater than 0. That means if a number of row affected is greater than 0, that means if I execute this query and the number of row affected is more than 0, that means your query is successful. I'll just return true, else I'll just return false. Okay everyone, so I just return true if it is successful execution in there, otherwise this is going to return false. Now I created a method, and I'm going to use this method everywhere, whether in insert, update, or delete operation. And while I need to create one more function, public get users, public void get users, everyone. So let me see how it works. I just can use SQL command, cmd equals to SQL command, and I'm writing a query here, which is not a better idea. So actually we are not going to do a real programming like this, because here we have a front end and a back end in the same page. So this is not acceptable. I'll teach you how to manage this code right from. Okay, let's start from user table, and let me pass a connection. Let me open the connection again here. This is very similar to the one you did earlier. I also need a data table, everyone. So just a data table, dt equals to new data table. That's it. Data table, and now connection is open. And else you can use SQL data reader, dir equals to execute reader, and then I need to go to the DP. And I need to close the connection, and I need to relate this database to the data GPU. data source equals to not DB. Okay, now fine. So this is binding your data grid view to a value stored in DT, which is again brought by this query. Select stuff from user table. So we got all the users that we want. We got all the users. Now let me go to this create button. So once I click on this create button, what I can do is now I can simply write my logic here. I just get an integer, okay, bool rs equals to, now I'm going to use this function called manage users, and I'm going to pass the value. For insert operation, the ID will be anything else, nothing else, ID could be anything else. So 0, username is txt username.text, password is txt password.text, role is cmd role.text, and mode is 1. Mode has to be 1, everyone. Mode has to be 1. Why it has to be 1? Because 1 is for making an insert operation. If you look into the stored procedure, you will see if mode is 1, then only this is going to perform an insert operation. That's why you have to provide the value of mode to be 1 for making an insert operation now. Now I can check if rs equals to true, that means your user has been created, and I can tell, okay, message box got so user successfully created. And here, everyone, I need to call this function get users as well, because I want to review all the users on my grid view. And otherwise, you'll be getting error. Let's, I can tell that, okay, there is some error occurred. Atom, I'll teach you how to manage this error. It is not a way to write very good way. So let's say you can just tell that error occurred in providing, error occurred in performing the required operation. Okay, so if there is error, so there is error. Okay, Platon will be using an exceptional handling mechanism to manage this error. This is absolutely not a good format of writing the code. In fact, this is not professional level, which I'll be teaching Platon how to write the code at the professional level again. Anyway, our create job is done. So you can run and check. You can run and check. So let's log in. Let's create any user called admin, and create. And we can see created, and user is here. User is here. You can create any other user. Let's say Ram, create, and you can see Ram is created. So the user has been created, everyone. So we're able to create users now. But at the same time, you can see once we create a user, this fields are still with old value here. Actually, I do not want the old value to be over here. So what I can do is I can create a function through which I can make my fields blank. So that I will create another new function called public void clear. So I can create another function called public void clear. Public void clear. Okay, now everyone, so let me create clear fields, and now I will simply, I can use a for loop. I'll just make it simple for right now. I can just make txt username dot clear, txt password dot clear, txt confirm password dot txt confirm password dot clear. I'm not using a validation right now, everyone. And txt, sorry, cmd role dot selected index would be equal to -1. This would be equal to -1 because 0 means the first value. So once the things are done, I just want to clear the field, so I can call this function here clear fields. I can call this function once is clear fields. Let's run and check how well it works. Let's say end user. So I'll just create a login as well. Let's okay. You can see there is no error here, no users here. So I'll also show you how to control that. So let me see how you can have all those values once the forms start. So here I can go and make it. I can write it here. Stop it. I can write it here to get users. And let me run it again, and you'll see all your users will be on the form load. Okay, and you see all the users are here. Let's say Harish and Manish. Harish, 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 and user anything to it. You see, fields are blank now. Now let's go for update operation, everyone. Now update is super simple. It's super simple. Before making an update operation, what you have to do is you need to populate all the value onto the corresponding text box and combo box. So let me right click, go to property, and let me go to event, and let me just click on the cell click, and let me get all the value onto my level control to the corresponding text boxes. So before that, let me create a variable called integer user ID, which is equals to 0 now, and let me read this on this cell quick. The user ID should be equal to now integer.parse bgv. Let me close this first. bgv dot selected row 0 dot cells is now user ID. You can just write the index name user ID dot value dot string. And now similarly txt username dot text equals to now bgv selected rows again 0, and now this is username value 0. So I think that has to be dot cells username, so that has to match whatever is in your database, or let's say what is in your grid view value dot string. Similarly txt password dot text should be equal to bgv selected rows 0 dot cells dot user, sorry, it has to be a password dot value dot string. And similarly txt password and to be equals to txt confirm password. And now once these are both are same, now we can again go same role dot selected index, or let's say we just can make it now dot text will be equal to now. So this may not work, no issues. And this has to be row. Need to write some additional logic here. Dot value dot string. So let's focus on this right now, and let's see how it happens now. So let's run and check whether this works or not. So let us provide login, and let's choose here, and you can see okay, this is not populated here because of some reasons. Let me check why. Okay, so it's yeah, because of password.text. Okay, this one is password.text equal to user list dot selected or 0 dot cells password.value. Let me check the database why it is not coming out here. So password, it's password dot value dot string. Username. Let's check this one why it is not working. It's a password, that's correct. To check, this is not populated here because of some issues. Let's try to fix it, or I can just work with one more logic here. For this is just a temporary solution. This is 0 1 2, so this is a 2th position, so I can make it 2 cells 2. Let me just stop this 2, make this Ooh, let me make this. Okay, now let us run and check how it works or not. Let's log in. That should work. Still, it doesn't work because of some reasons, maybe. So, what is the reason behind this? Okay, username is okay. TXT password or text is also not okay. Yeah. The reason is this one. The reason is this one. Actually, this has to be reversed. This has to be txt confirm password has to be the text has to be txt password dot text actually, but we got it reversed. So again, this will work now. Let us make it password. This has to work. This is a better idea to work instead of working with text because the position lateral may be changed. Now let's run and check it again and see whether this will work or not. Let's log in and let's create. Yeah, this works now. Perfect. Okay, perfect. This all works now here, everyone. Now let's go and make an update operation. Now let's go and make an update operation. We can make an update operation. So you can simply copy this code here, and it's very simple, everyone. Let me copy this. Let me go to the designer, and let me click on this update button, and let me copy this paste here. Let me copy this code here. And only one thing that I need to change is this ID. I just can make user ID, and I need to change this mode. The mode has to be true for making an update operation, and I can change this message updated, and that's it. Similarly for delete also I can do the same. For example, let me copy this as one, copy this as well, and let me go to now view designer. Let me go to delete, and now I can paste it here. Only thing I need to change is this one mode 3, and I'm deleted. So I'm done. So let's run and check. Let's create some user. Let's say demo user, demo user, demo user, demo user. Let's put some row. Great. Okay, done. 4. So let's say at the rate 1, 2, 3. At the rate 1, 2, 3. Let's create update. Updated. See, it's updated. Let's see a delete operation. And it's deleted. Perfect. And for close, it's very easy. I'll just go and write the code for close. So I can double click on it and I can just this start close. And I'm done. Perfect. Now once I've done this all, everyone, I want to show you how you can create an actual login. I do not want to write this directly login to this one. So I want to write here login. I want to create a login. So now again for login also you have already using system.data. Now I need using system.data.sql client. Really this will work. I don't need using system.data.sql client. So first of all I have to make a SQL connection. So SQL connection. Okay, I need it for system.data. For making a connection. So I will be using system.data.SQL client. This is required because of making connections to SQL connection con. I have to make a connection everywhere wherever you have to work with the database. So let us copy the connection. Right click on your database. Go to property. Copy the connection. Control C and Control D here. Within and body command. Make it paste it here. We're done. Now here I am going to write a logic SQL command actually. CMD equals to new SQL command, and I'm going to write a third query here, everyone. So I'm sorry, select query. Select based on some condition start from user table where username equals to the username, and say I'm using a parameter, and password. I have both the conditions must match, and I need to pass the connection here, everyone. And here I can make cmd.command type. It's not compulsory for this, but you can write it down for your reference. This is not test process. This is simply a text because I'm not using test processor for this one. Let me open the connection. Before connection, let me make provide parameter parameter.add with value. Now I'm not using a function everyone, so I can directly access my text boxes. For example, for username, the username is coming from txt username.text, and this comes from password. So txt password.text. I'm not done. connection has to be open, and SQL data reader, because I'm using SQL command, select command, execute reader. This time I have to use reader because I'm executing a select command. And also I need a DT. I need a DT instance of DT. So I can create a data table, DT equals to new data table. And now here I can say dt.load here. And now I can close the connection. And I can check whether the number of row brought out by this query is more than 0 or not. So that is stored inside DT. And I can check if dt.rows.count is greater than 0. If it is 0, that means your user exists. If it is not, then user doesn't exist. If it is so, then I'll log into my user form. I can say user form frm equals to new user form. And now I can say the frm.show dialog. I'll have this form. And if it is not there, then I'll just say else. I'll just say message box.show invalid username and password. Okay, and here I have to make sure the fields are blank again. So I just can make txt username dot clear and txt password dot clear. And also I want to focus on my first text box, so I can just make txt username dot focus. So what this will do is, once your fields are blank, the cursor will be on the txt username text box. Okay, so let's run and check. Let's log in. No, you can't log in because I need a username. So I don't know what is my user. So I think I have admin. Yes, so I have admin user. So let me say again Haris and Haris. So let me see if Haris can log in. Yeah, Haris also can log in. Now let's see if Manish can log in. I don't have user called Manish, but let us see if he can log in. No, he can't log in because he is not a valid user. Okay, so in this way I can create any user. Now let me create again admin, and let me log in, and let me create a new user, test. Okay, I have created test, and let me see if test can log in. Test and log in. Yeah, test has been able to log in. Perfect, great. So we have been able to finish some work now, everyone. So we have been able to create a form through which we can create a user, and we have also created a login form through which login credentials were applied to the users that were stored in our database. Okay, and only those people who have been stored in the information and stored in the database can log into the system. Now in my next video, I'll also show you the login with role. How only for example, if it is admin, only admin will be having some admin level of credentials. If it is users, the user will be having a user level of credentials. But we will do that in the next video. Till then, do take care of yourself, your family. Do not go out, stay home, and keep on studying.